Are you working on a bag pattern that looks something like this, and you've got straps that come down either side of the outer of your bag, and you'd like to add a pocket? Well, today's your day. Hi, I'm Laura, one of the owners and designers here at Rivet Patterns, and today I'm going to show you how to add a slit pocket between two straps. Let's jump right in. Here's what we're going to need to add a slit pocket between our straps. We need the outer, we need our strap, we need two of our slit pocket pieces, we need a measuring device, and we need something to write with. This is a heat erase pen, which is perfect for this project. Now, let's move everything to the side except for our ruler and our outer. As you can see here, I've already made some placement markings for our shoulder strap. You're going to use your pattern to tell you where this placement is. I went ahead and drew where the strap placement is for this pattern. This would be, say, for the Otava ruffle tote bag, we have straps that go here. So here's what we're looking at. We have these straps here, and we want a slit pocket in between. Once you have made those markings, you do not want to sew your strap on. All right, you don't want to sew it because you've got to get underneath that. So your strap will look like this when it's lined up, for your pattern. So what you want is you want that pocket to go in the middle of that strap marking. We've marked our placement. All right, so I'm going to measure from the center of one marking to the center of the other marking. That way, my pocket will go in underneath the strap like this, right? So it's going to go underneath the strap, and then when I sew the strap on, I'm giving stability to that pocket, right? So I see here that I need it to be 5 inches. It can be slightly over 5 inches, but I wouldn't want to be under 5 inches. You really want it to be under that strap as much as you possibly can. So we've decided that it needs to be 5 inches wide for this particular pattern. Now we want to know how tall we want it to be. All right, you can have it come all the way to the top if you like, or you can have it come down. So I am measuring from the bottom raw edge. You may not have a bottom raw edge. You may have, like the Otava, you may have a bottom piece that comes up. So you're not going to measure from the bottom of the raw edge, which is all the way on the bottom here. You're going to measure from about where that's going to hit. So you'll need all your pieces, and you'll need to figure that out. And so you'll just want to measure. Of course, this is a finished bags, but I'm just giving you an idea. Say you want it to come up to here. Well, that's about 4 3/4 inch. So you want to give yourself, maybe add a 1/2 inch to that, or an inch so it comes underneath this bottom piece as well. Does that make sense? So we're looking at like 5.5 inches. So if your pattern, I'm just going to use a scrap piece of fabric here, it has a bottom piece that comes up like this. You want to lay that in its approximate spot. And then you want to measure, okay, I want it to be about 4 inches. So I'm going to add an inch to it so it definitely goes under that bottom piece. Does that make sense? And then you have your 5 inches across, okay? So that's for that. Or if you want it to sit on top of this, you would measure from the very, very top of your bottom up to where you want it. So we say 5 inches. So we're going to add 1/4 inch for a seam allowance, and we're gonna treat it kind of like a patch pocket. We'll finish the bottom and we'll finish the top, and it will just sit. We'll top stitch it down right above this bottom. It's up to you how you want to do it. This is just the basic way. I'm going to assume we do not have a bottom piece, and this is how it goes. So I have decided we know we need it to be 5 inches across. I'm going to go 6 inches tall. So I need two pieces of fabric, pocket fabric, that are around 5 inches wide, and about 6 1/4 to 6.5 inches tall. Add the amount of seam allowance that you're going to use to what you want, how tall you want it to be. So if I'm going to do 6 and I'm going to use 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm going to add 1/4 inch to my pieces of pocket. And I've already done this. I have I'm using quilting cotton. I'm using 2 pieces of quilting cotton. They are 5 inches across, 6.5 or 6 1/4 inches tall. So I have 2 of those. Now, if you're using a heavier, say, canvas or home decor or something like that you're putting the pocket in with, and you just want to use 1 piece of fabric, you can totally do that. I would turn it to the wrong side. I would press the top edge down 1/4 inch, and then I would do that again. And then you would just top stitch across the top, just like that. Okay, if you're using vinyl, you would just turn it once, right? 1/4 inch, just like this. Or you could do a 1/2 inch. It's up to you if you're using vinyl. And then once you have top stitched that, you can then place your pocket like this. Okay, so that's what it would look like. But I'm using thin quilting cotton, so I'm using 2 pieces of quilting cotton. I'm going to place them right sides together. And all I'm going to sew is the top raw edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Here we are. Now, what I like to do, this is just personal preference, I like to open it up, put the right side down, and I'm going to press this open. You could either finger press it, or you can use your iron. All right, now we're going to fold and match these short raw edges, wrong sides together. Okay, just like this. You've got your sewn edge up at the top. Give it a press. Now we're going to head back to our sewing machine, and about 1/8 of an inch from this top edge that we just sewn, we're going to top stitch. So just about 1/8 of an inch. You could also do 1/4 of an inch. It's up to you. I like the way the 1/8 inch looks. So I'm going to pull out some pins. You can also use wash away wonder tape or something like quilting tape. That's totally fine. Double-sided type tape, that's fine. So we're going to grab our pocket, and we're going to grab our outer where our markings are. We're going to center them on the markings. All right, so you can see I went a little over 5 inches, and that's okay as long as I'm still in there. And so I'm going to pin or clip or tape this pocket to here. Okay, just like this. You need to make an adjustment, So you can see that I lined up the raw edge at the bottom. And there's that. Okay, remember, additionally, you can sew this bottom right sides together and set it up a little bit from that bottom seam. That's totally fine to do that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, about 1/4 of an inch from the side raw edges, I'm going to baste down and across the bottom so that this pocket is secure. Let's grab our straps. So we've got our shoulder strap here, and we need to line it up with the markings, just like this. And you can see it totally covers up those raw edges. I'm giving it a pin, but you can use wash away wonder tape here. It's totally fine to use that. It makes it way easy. The fabric doesn't bunch up. It's pretty perfect. Okay, so there's one side. Let's do the other side. And this is at the point where you'll just follow the instructions in your pattern for attaching your shoulder strap. You just need to make sure that you add this pocket before you sew down your shoulder straps. Okay, so here we are. All right, so we're going to sew up one side, down, across, and down the other, and do the same on the other side. And this will make sure that we totally have that pocket in place. You're going to do about we're going to sew about 1/8 of an inch from either side. Let's do it. And now we've got our pocket totally ready to go. If I put my phone in it, voila, it fits all the way in. Even if I have a bottom that goes on this, just like the Otava, it's going to come up to about here, and I can still get my phone in there, and it does. It's perfect. All right, that is how you add a slip pocket between straps.